Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If that I said like yesterday about the the one rule that I never make or I never want to like do was this one, because it's not offensive or inappropriate stuff. It's just some people are real tired out from like the these, so, and plus this was in my personal what if, where sometimes in my personal what ifs I make a character so overpowered that I will never ever like make on this channel. But this, because of a couple reasons, but this one specifically. Okay, ready? This might turn out really good or really bad. So, let's begin. So, first of all, this is the what if sleeper man was in My Hero Academia. Sleeper, or sleeping man, should I say, or I call him Sleeper because, yeah. And, yeah, in this what if, he has a rare disease called, like, basically a growing, basically, or gigantify sleeper, or something that's if you had his disease, every time you sleep, you grow like 5 feet. So basically and yeah. So, let's begin. So, yeah, he was born from, let's say, a family that was, like, his father was a pro hero, his mother was staying-home mom, and, of course, and no, I'm not talking about her, not yet, though, yeah. So, after he was, like, little, so when he was, let's say, 5 years old, he was, like, taller than a building. Yeah. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Because when he was 3 years old, when it first manifested, he looked like the size of, like, Endeavors. Yeah. So then, yeah. So, when he was, like, basically 7 years old, because every time he sleeps, he grows, like, 5 feet. Basically like, 5 feet tall, or like, yeah. When he was like 7 years old, at this point he was bigger than an island. So, yeah, at age of 4, I forgot to mention, at age of 4, they took him to the quirk doctor. He couldn't fit through the quirk doctor's, like, little, like, doorway thing. As the quirk doctor, let's say the guy has the quirk of the, basically, they're, so it's a combined, so he has the powers of infinity and zero, but his quirk is called the reborn. Revive and reborn thing. So yeah. Basically, Zuko was pretty, or not Zuko, the sleeper was immortal. So when he was sleeping, he became, yeah. So now that's just the big, like, the first part. Now, let's switch over to Toga. Yeah. My beloved favorite character, Toga. Because when I first saw her in, like, on TV thing, I was pumped up. Like, heck yeah, he bringing some crazy character in. Yeah. Woo, woo. So, yeah. Now, so Toga ends up, so in this what if, she hasn't chosen good or bad. But her parents did abandon her because of because of her quirk. They just gave up on her, so they just abandoned her. So she goes to this weird island. And, yeah. And she basically was tired out. And she fell asleep. Right on, you guessed it, that same island. But then, in her dream, she met him. So, yeah, because Sleeper sees a problem in Toga's arsenal thing. Because reason why her parents abandoned her and basically is because of her quirk made her go insane. And she doesn't want that. She's trying to be like herself, not be so crazy. So then, but she didn't have a blanket, so she's kind of freezing. So, but but she didn't realize that someone, so the hand came over her, not like putting her hand right on top of her entire body. She's just, yeah, as the comfort. Yeah. Because how big he was. So, she basically, when she met him in a dream, she was about the same, or he's about the same size as her in her dream. As he tells her that that where you're sleeping on is actually on my hand. And as he walks up to her in the dream and hugs her, or as he tells her that he doesn't, or she doesn't need to, like, be harmed. So yeah, as he actually did kiss her on the forehead thing, and yeah, as she basically looks at him with a smile on her face, as she wanted him to be her boyfriend thing. As she literally says that. As instead of like objecting, like, we just met and all that stuff, he just says, okay. Yeah. If you saw who I really was, or as she says, I really don't care about who you really were on after I wake up. So, yeah. So let's say the morning comes and he moves his hand so that he did kept her warm with his hands and on act like a blanket for Toga. So yeah, so he moves them as she wakes up, not all groggy, but she thought this island was weird, but then when she was trying to explore, there was, yeah. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So this is what would be like Yeah. So, he's bigger than the island. So, yeah. At the current time. So, the so then when he tells her, as she looks at, when he opens his eyes, freaked her out. As he gets up, as she's kind of in shock. That basically how big he is, as so she's basically so plus he did speak like normally. As he reached over, but instead of like smashing like swatting her like away, he ends up like tapping her, or not tapping, rubbing her top of her head with his finger. As she basically, as he could tell that her quirk basically is causing her to go crazy thing. Or that's one of the like diseases thing that she has. So what does he do? He uses his power to fix her up. And so Toga ends up being, all cured from the crazy. Sorry if I'm muttering. Yeah. And see. Sorry for the noise in the background. Yeah. So yeah, they basically, Toga was cured, and she, from the disease that was infecting her, like how he has gigantified. And so her and him became friends, and yeah, at this point he's, yeah, so time skip, so 2:15, as he was like because how big his body was, he was like basically, let me tell you his size. If he was, or his head, so he's bigger than, so his head was in the North Pole, that's top, and then his feet reached all the way to the bottom, creating a yeah, he was pretty big guy at this point. So, yeah. And, yeah. So he ends up, or so Toga doesn't care. As the reborn thing, and every time he does die, alright, out in every video, I should just, like, yeah, that's just my alarm clock, so, yeah, that's for, yeah, so Toga ends up meeting him every day after school. And she does go to UA instead of, like, become a villain. As so she meets her favorite idol and her blood hero, and she's much more calm. She's in class 1B. So, yeah. So then the villains ends up, being the... So, time skip to All Might vs. All for One. Say Bakugo got kidnapped. And, yeah. And All Might was down but not out. As Toga was, like, she's scared for her friends to be killed by, she's afraid of Symbol of Peace might get killed by All for One. So, what does she do? She calls out the sleeper's name. His nickname is Fluffy Bunny. Or Fluffy, for short. As All Might says, or as All for One says, any last words? As All for One, or as All Might says no. Okay. So then, time for you to, as before he even says, it's time for you to die. A giant-sized finger, or hand, should I say, landed right on All for One. His entire body. As he grinds at him, yeah. Yeah, so as Toga knows, as everyone is shocked. Like, basically, where is it? I'm saying shock. Like in, holy crap, this kid's overpowered kind. So, where is that stupid? Oh, okay. So then, everyone was shocked about it. They can't believe it. A hand came out of nowhere and just pop. As All Might looks over at Mountain Lady, as she still has two hands that are holding the Nomu, and like trying to like put him behind bars thing, but the hand was bigger than her entire body, way bigger. So yeah, as he gets up, as at this point, Mountain Lady, he should be the third tallest person in My Hero Academia. Because when they saw his actual size of him standing, he was standing in water, but his entire body was bigger than, so he's bigger than the planet. So here, so like he goes from Earth to like the moon. That's how big he is. Or as he walks around as he's trying to look down. Because how big he is, he's bigger than any anime character. It makes, and plus he's immortal, so yeah. As the camera guys can't even like go all the way to top or get a full body. Yeah. But he basically was, or so Toga was happy, or is happy to see him up and at him. As he was pretty big guy, so then how big he was. You know that one instance where Wile E. Coyote, he was like used a serum and made himself grow? Yeah. It basically is like that, but as he did tilt it down so that the satellite goes over his or behind his head without it like flying towards hits him in the head. So Toga decided, or she has two names for him. Fluffy, him, and the number 2 is Cupcake. As she says, my cupcake is awake, yay! As everybody looks at her and she's like, or they're like, wow. And she calls him that. And so, yeah. As the his body did freeze, and yeah, he does, or so Toga does. Is like, yeah. So then when he puts his 1 foot out, you know, as a giant, as he was like, yeah. At this point, he was, yeah, he froze to death, but he came back to life. But he's now a similar height to as Toga, as he still has that disease thing. But yeah. But it doesn't bother him that much. So when Toga or when in Sleeper or should I say Sleeper's dad or Sleeping Man and his father saw how big he was, man, yeah. Plus then when as but he turns to her or turns to Toga, and because he heard her say cupcake. Her something. As she asks, or no, he asks her, as when you said my cupcake thing, what did you mean? Well, that boy, he is actually my boyfriend. And he doesn't mind me calling him that. As the basically sleeping man's father was shocked about, because reason why there was nobody that even wanted to hang out with his son, because because they thought he was weird, and they thought he had like a disease that would infect them. But no, it's not contagious one. It was, yeah. But yeah. So when he came, or when he went, came back to life, basically, Toga knew who he was, as she ran right up to him with her arms straight out, as she straight up hugs him. Right then and there. As he basically was pretty big guy. Yeah. So, yeah. So then he did tell her that he good to be back. Yeah. So then they went on a date. And it's his first time, so he's kind of embarrassed. But Toga says, it's my first time too. So don't be embarrassed. So then they, were dating each other's. And, yeah. So then, after that, because his endless cycle of, growing to, taller to, bigger than the planet, and then restarting over again, reborn, and, yeah. He still has the same memories. But, yeah. But one of his favorite tricks is that because he has the power of infinity and zero, he basically he could put other people to sleep. Yeah. So now, let's begin. Or let's finish this up. Then the day came. Toga, or let's say it was a wedding day thing. Toga was in a wedding dress and he was in a tuxedo thing. And, yeah. One of them got married and had. I just looked up I used an AI thing to give me a name of Toga's kid. And you know what it came up with? Nami. Nami. As Toga's daughter. Yeah. Nami is from One Piece. Yeah. So, yeah. So then yeah. Yeah, so he can actually use his powers to create fuse his disease with his immortality thing. At this point, it would be called torture, first of all. So, because he grows to size of a, like, endless amount of proportion, like, basically gigantified all the way to bigger than the planet. And if he stands up, he dies. And then he gets reborn, rinse and repeat. But he still has his memory, so, yeah, and powers. Yeah. So, and he also gives he created a special quirk for Toga's daughter, or should I say their daughter, because kind of changed her quirk to, like, basically instead of needing blood to transform, she just thinks about people, or she'll just think about them instead of having their blood. So, yeah, that's what they're... And, plus, she's a mortal shapeshifter. Like how Mystique is, like, immortal and she can shapeshift, basically. Well, yeah, but on a whole nother level. Plus, so her father can basically, come right back and, like, because of endless torture for him. And Toga could just, she actually told him that she wants to be immortal just like him. As he says, okay, I'm giving you immortality so that what I'm going through. For me, it's torture thing. What do you mean? Well, remember, like, you had a disease that would made you crazy if I didn't come in to, like, take that part away? Well, mine, when I was born, and I have gigantify, basically endless, like, growth. So, basically every time I take a nap or sleep, my body will grow to endless amount of it until either dead or someone as she feels terrible about how he's, like, getting reborn and then have to go through that every... So, he does give her immortality, and, like, he's made her time, like, basically the time stops for her. So she doesn't actually age at all. So she's still the same one. And yeah. And so now she will watch her like boyfriend die every yeah. So then but their daughter will grow up and be all healthy and all that stuff. So yeah. So yeah. So now it's end of the I almost said end of the duel, but yeah, that's Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I So now we got this like what if done. And yes, the it's maybe tomorrow's what if it will probably be something with Zuko's, because I notice that every time I do say Zuko a lot, then I just need to make something. But this was in my own head of like workshop thing, because it teaches us how to like it teaches us several things. Like one, don't like there's some upsides to like being immortal and being immortal and basically being immortal and but watching your friends like die and all that stuff. So yeah, you need to make some memories or good memories with your friends and family, and yeah, and don't abandon anyone because of what they would look like and yeah, all that stuff. So be nice. Yeah. So now this is going to be the end of the what if. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, and yeah. And that's a history fact stuff. So peace out, y'all. Peace.